delay lately. Okay. Look at the camera. The camera's a little screwed up. Sorry. Okay, so welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York Show. I'm Michael Pinter. I teach you how to start flipping and wholesaling houses in New York. If you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Now, the question is, can you be both a real estate agent and an investor? So the short answer is yes. I'm going to explain why and why people think you can't. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to tell you really what I say to people when they ask me that question, or different versions of the question. Now, you can be both. What some people think and what some gurus in other parts of the country say is that two reasons why you don't want to be a real estate agent and an investor. Basically, they're telling investors not to get licensed as real estate agents. So the two reasons I've heard, both of which are, I think, absurd, but I'll explain why, is that number one, if you are a real estate agent, you have this fiduciary responsibility to the client. And if you're going to go buy the property at a discount, you're somehow doing this client a disservice. So first of all, I think that's complete horseshit, because number one, I've never been I'm going to say never been in a situation where somebody had an option of either listing or selling it to an investor. Usually there's a reason why they're not going to list it. And remember, 9 out of 10 people in any given market on average are going to list it with an agent and sell it that way. 10% won't. I got to get a drink. 1 second, sorry. So it's absurd that somehow you are taking advantage of the person, right? There's a reason why they don't want to list it. It could be for a variety of reasons, right? It could be because of the condition of the property. It could be because of the situation they're in. It could be because of the time frame. It could be because they're COVID afraid. Whatever the hell it is, there's a reason why they're not doing it. So I think that's an absurd reason. Now, a reason I heard recently, it sort of made me think about it, but I disagree with this one too, is that, well, if you're an agent and you're pushing people to either list or sell to you, you're going to lose money because you're probably going to make less money on a listing. Now, it's true that I do make less money on a listing, but I got to believe the deals where I really felt like to me, it's usually clear one or the other, right? It's based on, in general, whether they can list it and what the condition of the property is in, right? So if the condition of the property is good and they're not in a rush and they have no reason not to list it, then they should list it. And I've gone into hundreds of seller appointments saying to them, listen, I got to be honest with you. If you sell it to me or any other investor, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. You might as well just list it. Now, I like saying that because I want to find out, I want to do what's best for them. And if they can list it, then they'll say, okay. And if they can't, I'm going to find out why right there. So I don't agree with this situation. I believe it's very, very simple and good to be both, right? And I really got this whole idea from a great man from Boston named Tom Caffarella, who has a great business where he does a lot of flip deals and wholesale deals, and he created a brokerage where he's got hundreds and hundreds of people working for him. And I went to his office a couple of times, and I really saw that was possible. I admire him very much. He's a very honest guy, and he has got a system going now where he gets enough money from all his agents' listing commissions that he pays for his marketing, and that's a lot. It's like $100,000 a month. He's got his own mail equipment, like he's got hundreds of thousands of dollars of mail equipment. So he's a great dude. He sort of opened my eyes to it, that there's no reason why you can't do both. And I feel very strongly that you are not doing anything wrong by being both. And in fact, I have said on this channel and to as many people as I can that anybody who is looking to flip or wholesale properties in New York should get licensed, right? And there's really 3 reasons why they should be licensed. Number one is to get access to the MLS, the multiple listing service, which is the best way to comp out properties. There are ways around that. If your spouse or your sibling maybe is a MLS member, maybe they can give you the credentials. But number one reason is to get access to MLS. It is the best way to comp out properties, right? PropStream is second, is not as good, but it's close. Second reason why you want to be licensed is because you want to list your own property. So even wholesale properties you're allowed to list. You're just not allowed to represent that you own the property. You have to list the owner as a contract vendee, which means that you're in contract. You want to list your wholesale properties and you want to list your retail properties, right? So wholesale properties are property that you buy and do very little work to and put it back on the market, or your rehab properties. You want to be in control of that listing. I can tell you from someone who's listed a lot of properties of my own, you want to be in control. You want to be able to change price. You want to be able to change pictures. You want to be in control, and you don't want to pay somebody, right? 2%, right? Average ARV here is $500,000. You don't want to give up $10,000. So you want to be licensed in that way. And the third reason What the hell is the third reason? Oh, simple. I'm losing my marbles. Is because if you go on enough seller appointments, you're gonna meet people who just want to list, right? I've gone to seller appointments where I was sure that they were looking to sell to me, and then they said we want to list, and I just whipped out a listing agreement, and they listed with me. And it's free money, right? I'm looking at my board now. I have 5 listings up there, 4 are already in contract to sell, right? And I average maybe 10 grand. Now, if I worked in an area where the listing commission was much less, maybe I would think secondly about it. Also, I have a full-time dispositions manager, Ken, who handles all my listings, so I don't have to go to open houses and I don't have to deal with the bullshit that buyers bring. But even if you're someone who doesn't want to deal with it and doesn't want to put the time in, and if you're starting out, you probably do want to put the time in, but even if you don't, you can co-broker the deal. Just find another hungry agent and give him half the commission. So if I average $10,000 on a listing or $9,000 listing, it's $4,500, $5,000. Split it with somebody and make the money. It's free money, right? You spent money on the marketing. You spent money on the list. You spent time marketing to the list. You have somebody who wants full retail price and doesn't have anybody else to list with. Someone's just looking to pick up that cash and take it. So take it yourself. So that's the third reason why I think everybody should be listed. Now, I get asked this a lot, right? I get asked, are you an agent or are you a broker? Are you a realtor? Are you an investor? What are you? So my standard answer, I've said it 1,000 times, I could say it in my sleep, is I do 2 things, right? I buy properties that need work, I fix them up and I sell them. And I am also a traditional realtor. And then I pitch them on why they might want to sell with me. So I'll give you my quick pitch. It's really, I think, as good as it can be, and it works. And I say, listen, I never wanted to be a realtor, right? I'm a house flipper. I love creating new things and doing that. But I had to list my own properties after the work was done. And I wanted to be in control of that. So I am the least expensive, quickest, best realtor that exists. And I go through a whole pitch. I don't know if I should go through the whole thing. I'm going to have time. I go, listen, I'm going to charge you a maximum of 3.5%. If the buyer's agent if the buyer comes and doesn't have an agent, I'm going to charge you 2.5%. That's the lowest numbers you're going to hear anywhere, right? If you go to any of the major realty companies, they're going to charge you 4 or 5%. I'm the quickest. I'll take a listing for 60 days. In the current market, I'll do a 60 days. Sometimes I'll do 90 days, but usually 60 days because I'll have it in contract in 60 days. If you go to one of the major realty companies, they're going to tell you to list for a year. And then if you push them, they'll let you list for 6 months. I'll have it in contract in 60 days. And if you're not happy with me for whatever reason after 60 days, you can go list with them. And third is I know how to sell properties. Those guys know how to list properties, right? Because I need to sell my own properties for top dollar. Your property gets listed alongside my property and gets sold for top dollar. And I'll spend money on things that they won't. I spend money on Facebook advertising to drive people to come see the property. I'll spend money on professional photography if we need. And that's the truth, and I will, right? Because I do it for my own houses. So I'll do it for my realty clients. And that pitch works very well. You could steal it from me if you want. But that's the truth, right? I do 2 things, right? Now, would I prefer to buy every house I go into? Of course I would. I make much more money when I buy a property than when I do when I list it. But if the person really doesn't have a time issue and doesn't have any specific reason why they can't list, and the property is in decent condition, I'll tell them to list it. I'll say, this is what I think you can get for it. And very often, I've done this a few times this week and last week already, I'll say, listen, I'll give you 2 numbers. I'll tell you what you can list it for, what you can get if you list it, and I'll tell you what I can pay for it, right? And you're usually going to get less money if you sell it to me, right? That's just the way it works. But there's a trade-off, right? You're going to get less money for the convenience and surety. Surety, the word I'm looking for? There's another word I'm looking for. The convenience and certainty. The convenience and certainty that I provide, right? Whatever the price I give you is the price. It's not going to change. I'm not sending an inspector here and telling you I need $20,000 off. I'm not sending an appraiser here and telling you have to make 12 repairs. I'm not changing the price. So the price is the price. And I'm going to close whenever you want, right? You're not going to be on a buyer's timeline. I bought a lot of properties from people. The only reason I bought them from them is because they didn't want to be on a buyer's timeline. Let's say they didn't have any place to go and they just didn't want to get thrown out of their house. And I'll tell you, I'll wait. I'll close quick. I'll close last. I'll close late. Whenever you want. So it's the certainty and convenience that we provide, right? I'm not going to bring 1,000 people in here on 100 different occasions. So that is what I say. You can choose to do whatever you say, but I feel very strongly anybody who's a real estate investor, certainly in New York, where the ARVs, the after repaired values are so high. I should just say values. Where the values are high, you should take listings. I think it's a good move. So I hope this was helpful. If you like what you see, please click like. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you want more information on other ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in a course that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching or you want more information about it, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. And what else? And that's pretty much, keep the comments coming. I go live 5 times a week. Sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm going to say. So any comment is good. It doesn't even have to be on the subject of the video you're watching. Ask me any question you want. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply. If it's a topic I've covered in depth or recently, I'll just send you a link to a video. And if it's a new topic, I'll do a video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.